In this Baker Street talk, we're joined by Kiren Gill. Kiren Gill has been attending the Baker Street property meet ever since the first meet. She's a VIP member and she's done a cracking deal, which is to buy a shop, use permitted development rights to convert the rear into a flat and basically add significant value. We've been following this deal on some of our other YouTube videos and I'll put some links up here. But you really want to see this latest update from her herself as she describes the whole deal, the rationale behind it and how it's all put together. If you're new to this channel, you really want to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We release new content each and every week. It's all dedicated to helping you be more successful in property. Also, smash that like button. It really helps us out on YouTube. And comment whether you agree or disagree or got anything to ask either me or Kiren about this deal or this talk. Do so in the comments below. We'll have a discussion and a conversation. As I mentioned before, this talk was recorded at the Baker Street property meet. The Baker Street property meet is the UK's #1 property investors networking meeting. We get 300 people at our meetings each month. We meet on the last Wednesday of each month. For details of this month's meet and how to attend, visit bakerstreetpropertymeet.com. For now, enjoy Kiren Gill. Big warm welcome to Kiren Gill. Brilliant. Yes.
Thank you.
Now, do you like her hat?
He made me wear it again. Can I take it off now?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes. Excellent. Yeah, I'm delighted to be here and thank you, Ranjan, for having me here. I have been at Baker Street before, but last time I was actually talking about sourcing deals, and I did say at that point, that was in 2018. So 2019, I said I'm going to try and do one of my own deals because I'm sourcing for other people and I saw the numbers, quite experienced sourcer, and I thought, you know what, I'll source some residential deals, deals up ground, but then I realised because of the uncertainty in the market, I realised, you know what, the numbers are just not working, and then I decided to use Ranjan's strategy. So thanks to Ranjan and also Vanish, who's really helped me with the joint venture part. So if anyone knows Vanish, when I was on his workshops, I will introduce myself in a minute, but I just wanted to say thank you to Vanish because I had 3,000 coffees because of this guy. And through that, I've got lots of investors and developers that I've built relationships up with. And with Ranjan, with his strategy, I'm now doing this deal. So things do work. You know, they could be slow, but they work. So I'm really grateful to you too. Okay, so my company's name, can we do that? My company's name is Parachute Properties, and yeah.
Bring the mic.
Can you hear me okay? Right, so my company's name is Parachute Properties. A little bit about myself. I'm Kiren Gill, property sourcer, so I source commercial and residential and land deals with and without planning across England. So my background is in finance. I worked for NatWest Bank for about 10 years, IT engineer, Microsoft certified, worked for Merrill Lynch Life, so I did all the city stuff as well. Stay-at-home mum, looked after my in-laws, I've done all of that. Used to be a Bhangra teacher, I don't know if anyone knows what Bhangra is, but I used to be a Bhangra teacher. And also worked for NHS Services and worked for construction and building industry. So the last job I had was I left in 2014. It was to do with design and build, so I learnt a lot. That company used to actually deal with mega structures, Dubai Towers, London Towers, data centres, and it was all working with MEPs, mechanical, electrical engineers, and public health engineers. So through that, I learnt a lot. Also, it helps having a builder husband. He's got about 35 years experience. So I've put all my skills and knowledge together, and that's why I'm in property. So. Right, and I'm a professional sourcer, FCA compliant, TPO registered, ICO, anti-money laundering. For any sourcers out there, you've got to follow that rule really because we're like an estate agency business, so we've got to make sure we've got PI insurance and all of the above there. So also power teams are really important. I've been building my relationship since 2015. And my joint venture partner sitting over there somewhere, so she's actually as my JV partner on this commercial deal. I met her in 2016 at Vanishes and Ranjan's workshop. So these things take time. Since then, it's only now that we're just doing our deal together, and we'll be doing plenty more. So this is the deal that everyone's talking about. For us, it's just a small starter deal, and we thought we've got to start somewhere small. I was looking at commercial deals up north, and the price was around the same for a shop over there. This particular one, it's got the uppers, but that flat was actually on a long lease, so we weren't interested in that. When I went to view it, I realised it's got a really long office. It's quite a sort of a long building, which I'll describe in a minute. So it was a freehold mixed use, popular commercial parade, surrounded by lots and lots of residential, that helps. Great footfall. So if anyone knows Northfields in Ealing, it's a really nice area. It's like a villagey feel. I would say it's a step down from Chiswick, so we knew it's a good area as well. And transport. So Northfield Station is 9-minute walk, and also 10 minutes to Crossrail West Ealing. So they're the kind of things that we look for when I'm sourcing. So like I said, 1 bed, long lease. The ground floor is 650 square foot. And looking at what Ranjan's been teaching, and I thought, you know what can you do with it? But when you start playing about with the actual layouts and you go and visit the property, you realise there's a lot you can do, which I'll explain what we did. Okay, so another thing I looked out for was business rates. Anything that's below 12,000 is 0 rated. So the rates on this one was 11,250, and this information you can find from voa.gov. So the other thing I was looking for when I was sourcing the deal was our kind of target customer. So anyone can Google this, and basically it's to do with demographic in the area. So we looked to see it's about 80% of that is actual professionals. That was a good target for us, and we thought if we're going to have a shop and have a flat at the back, it's definitely not going to be for a family. It's not a student let because there's no university nearby. So we knew what we were aiming for. So how did we structure the deal? Okay, so I always go through this scenario as a sourcer. So go through the red, amber, and green. It looks a bit orange on here, but it's red. And so I'll go through various scenarios on my spreadsheets. And then looking at the worst case scenario, I thought even if we end up with 24%, it's still a good deal. So I shared it with my JV partner. We've been planning for a long time to do a deal together. And she was delighted with this. She said, even go for all 280. And that was a target I wasn't going to go for. The lowest I was going to go for was in the amber, which is the 250K at auction. So how do we structure it? So I've got a JV partner on board. And it wasn't just anyone that I met in the room and exchanged cards. It's someone I built a relationship up with. So my JV partner, she's providing the cash. So she's working. And, at the end of the day, she wants to stop working. So that's the aim that we're planning to do, is doing more and more of these. So she'll be in a situation where we can do further deals together and share the responsibilities. So my JV partners paid for the purchase and the build cost. And I'm doing the sourcing, the time, resources, project managing. And then we got a lovely investor on board, which I'll mention in a little while. So we've got bridging, and we got bridging quotes from about 6 different people, different companies. And development finance, we had to think about that as well. But my JV partner was bringing that fund in as well. And as backup, we had our own bit of cash and other private investors' funds. So why I'm mentioning that is, when you're doing a deal, you've got to make sure that you have lots and lots of plans and strategies in place. So what were we going to do with this? Obviously, as mentioned, we wanted to take advantage of the PD. So we wanted to convert an office into residential and then retain the commercial shop at the front, because I don't think it would be allowable to do it all anyway, because it's quite a busy parade of shops on that front. What we're thinking of doing is selling it as a residential flat. So our exit strategies, you have to think about what can you do once you've bought it? What if the market goes down? Anything can go wrong. So we thought about the sell strategy. You can just sell the residential flat, rent the flat for capital value. It's a very good capital value area. Like I mentioned earlier, I also saw one up north around the same price. But the risk with that for me was there was no capital in it. So we could sell the shop, keep the shop, whichever way around, and we can actually refinance and pay back all our investor, our bridging investor. So I went to auction, and the purchase price, the guide price was 230k. So we purchased it at 244. From my RAG system that I mentioned before, I wasn't going to go over 250. And I did the thing that Ranjan teaches at his courses, is like there's a trick that you stand at the back of the room and you actually own it. And the funny thing is, I did stand at the back, but some guy was trying to push me out of the way to get in front, and I realized he might have either been on your course or he was just, I don't know. But it's a powerful position to be in. And funnily, that guy has now become my friend, and he's brought a deal to me. He's brought a land deal to me. So exchanged on the 12th of July. And we completed on the 9th, which is the 28 days for any auction properties. I wanted to mention this is also my first commercial, first JV, also first, commercial auction property as well. I tend to look at the properties, but the numbers just didn't work. But this one was just unbelievable, so we couldn't refuse it. So that's me, my lovely JV partner. So if you look out for her, she's in here somewhere, Susanna. And that's the office we bought, and it's the Chartered Surveyor's office. When I went to speak to them, they said, we did tell the landlord, you could actually do something with it, maybe convert it into residential, but luckily they didn't for us. Okay, so lenders' requirements, we had to think about all of this as well. So to actually have your company, you've got to think about your own tax situation, speak to your accountant and tax specialists. So we set up a SPV as instructed by our accountant. We had to quickly set up a business bank account. These things need to happen really, really fast. And we had to have lenders' checks on both of us. Even though it's a JV where my partner's putting the money in, the checks are done on both individuals and the people that are within your team. So with me and my JV partner, we had our individual checks, our company checks. We had to provide credit reports. For myself and my JV partner, we gave personal guarantees and debentures on the company, which is like a personal guarantee, but on the company. Valuation report. Lending is always based on that, so we got a good valuation report. The value came back at 240, so it's only 4k less than what we paid. Building insurance needs to be in place immediately when you purchase the property at auction. JV partners funds, they were putting in 35%, and the bridging we were getting was for 65%. So that's us, me and Susanna, having our board meeting, deciding about the 6 different lenders that I'd gone through, that I've built relationships up with. So those lenders are pretty good. And so we're sitting there going over our stuff. We've made a final decision. And then what happened after that? Yes, so we've settled it, and I'm at Ealing Property Meet. I come across Ranjan. He loves the deal, and he decided to back us up. So we're just delighted to have that backing, because for me, it was almost, and for my JV partner, because I'm like, I'm not sure if we can do that, because we've already agreed it, and we've got a broker working for us. And then I was really worried about my broker losing his fees. We weren't going to pay his fees, but he was going to lose his fees from the actual lender. So I couldn't sleep for a couple of nights. My JV partner felt the same. And this is when you realise about your values. I realised we both felt terrible about this guy losing his fees. So we decided to pay him half the fees. He was delighted. We could get some sleep. And then we got Ranjan on board. So it was all win. Okay, so these were the deal numbers. So like I did in the red, amber and green, really it's like low, mid and high, but these are based on the purchase price now. So the stamp duty, etc. If you look at the worst case scenario, the shop will sell for 150,000, and the GDV on the flat would be 300. Now that's the worst case scenario. I've been told by the agents, we get 350, 330, but always work on the low case because you don't know what's going to happen. So we looked at that. We thought the ROI on that's really, really good. The yields are really good. We're going to go for it, and we've got the stamp approval of Ranjan. So we've proceeded with that one. And most of you have seen this on the YouTube channel. What we're doing is, this is what I meant by a long shop. So the beauty about this shop is it had a skylight which was hidden amongst the actual suspended ceiling that you couldn't really see it. And it's got a courtyard at the back. And so what we're doing is that 30 square meters, so imagine all of this is a shop, all the way through up to here, okay? And the skylight is here, so these are offices at the back. We're literally splitting the shop here and putting 30 square meters as commercial, and the rest of it, it's actually ended up being about 38.6. We measured it as about 34.6, but it's really worked out as 38.6 because we've taken a little bit more of the shop than we realised. Because Ranjan actually recommended, in regards to commercial, although you've got the value there, but if you take a bit more of the shop and give it a bit more to the flat, you'll get good value for that. So, so the entrance is from the rear to the shop, so it's through a pathway at the rear. And then the shop at the front. And the other thing is it's got another beautiful thing here. It's a little gully where people could go out. It's a window, but we're putting that as the French doors here. So they could go into the gully, and we've got a little bit of trellis and fencing there. So moving on. So planning approval was submitted on the 3rd of September. We timed it with our tenants that were already in. I forgot to mention we already had tenants in there, and they were meant to leave sort of maybe towards the end of September, but they left a bit earlier. So we got some money for that as well. And so we submitted that on the 3rd of September. By the time we got our architects, I didn't really just let go of my actual broker as well, but Ranjan actually made me fire my architect. So we got another architect on board, and he's done a tremendous job. And from the 3rd of September up to the 28th is 56 days. Can anyone guess if we got PD for this at all? Any guesses? Yes. And guess when we got it? Can anyone guess? On the actual day, 28th, which was Monday. We kept on phoning the council, chasing them up. They ignore you. They don't do anything. For some reason, I don't know why they do that, but always take that into account. But I was advised, even if it's the 56th day, if you don't get approval, wait another couple of days. Be patient and wait, because there could be something they've sent you in the post and you don't get it, and you could get into trouble for starting works. So we're delighted to have the PD approved for that. So at the moment, there's been a little bit of work happening in the background. So we've got our interior designer who's just come in and just sort of given us sort of colour schemes, etc. So they're the kind of things we're looking at. We're not going to do IKEAs and small stuff like that. Because of the actual areas, we've decided that we'll go slightly high end. And so they're the kind of things we're looking at the moment, but we don't know what we're going to do yet. You can't see the colours on here properly. So this is the kitchen we've ordered, and we ordered it through Wren Kitchens. I was told Wren Kitchens, their actual units themselves, I don't know if anyone's aware, you can actually stand inside them and they wouldn't actually break. So it's a really solid kitchen. So when we offer something in the property, we want to offer good quality, just in case we can't sell it, and also because if we need to maintain it for long term, that will be more beneficial for us. So, I must say, what kind of mother am I? Kitchen designed by Jasnil Gill. That's my son. He's over there somewhere. So do go and say hello to him. So this is the before picture. This is the courtyard, the gully that I was talking about. So there's no entrance here, so the guys had to deliver the fencing above. And there's a window on the side which you can't see here. So this is the before picture. And like I said, the work is just starting. It's not actually complete yet. We just got the go on Monday. So this is what we've turned it into, which is cute. And we've ordered the windows, etc. So all the suppliers in place. But this is a nice little space. I mean, it's not huge, but good enough for somebody to go out and have a little smoke. We could have left it as it is. It's not doing anyone any harm, and we could have just, painted it. But it's from a bedroom. So from the bedroom view, it'll be really nice to have French doors. And then you walk out and you've got a little bit of trellis, hang your washing out there, or sit there with one, chair and smoke or something. So, I think about every little space and making use of that. So this is the guys. They've already done... Oh, yes, this is one thing I must mention. If you're going for any of the permitted development, although you can't start a lot of the work, I would advise... getting in touch with all the utility companies. We got rid of the gas. We're not having any gas at all in there. So we're just going for electric and water. So we've already got a electric supply in the actual shop, but we needed that new mains for the actual flat. So this is what the guys have done. So what we did was we got in touch with them. As soon as we got the property, I started connecting with all the utility companies. And so we made an application, and it takes 2 to 3 months for things to happen. And I was trying to time it with 56 days. So the mains should be coming through. Any guesses when we're getting the main supply? We've dug the trench. Any guesses when we'll get the supply? We, asked them in July, when do you think we're going to get the supply for mains? Next week it's coming. So it's in time with, it's not too bad. It's hard to get these appointments, so make sure that you do them beforehand. So this is the actual water supply. That's coming in on the 1st as well. So that's one part of the mains water supply to the shop, and that's where they're going to put the main supply from the main road there. And there's another conversation. I spoke to Thames Water, and I said to them, first of all, they gave us a higher quote because they were going to use the mains from another bigger drain, and it would mean shutting the roads down, all of that. And I'm like, oh my God, it's our first project. It's my, me and my really good friend, this is our first project. I don't know what we can do. Oh my God, that's so expensive, blah, blah, blah. I started having a chat with the lady. And she said, let me see what we can do. She found out there's a drain that's closer, so that saved us another grand or so, maybe even 5K. So it's good to be, friendly with people on the other line for utilities. They are very helpful. Okay, so we're thinking about the next project. It's very exciting. So we will be looking at other projects as in commercial. And so the only way is up, as we say, and the next deal's in progress. And that's my details if you want to connect. And if you've got any questions, I'll be around here later on. So look forward to speaking to you then. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yeah! Like that. Huh.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, hit the bell icon. As soon as we upload, we'll let you know. And enjoy these. They're all dedicated to helping you be more successful in property. Happy investing!